Good morning, everybody, and welcome. I'm Leah, back again with another edition of Sunday Yoga, and I'm really excited to be here with you all. Happy Father's Day. Um, yes, and I love the amazing photos that have been popping up with the schedule for the last couple of days. It's been really, really fun kind of getting to know a lot of you a lot better and some of your families. So thanks for sharing those with us. And thanks for tuning in this morning. I'm still with you virtually for everyone's safety, but I'm still excited to be able to share this practice with you. And just another note of appreciation for all of you who reach out and tell me how much you enjoy class. You have no idea how much that means to me. So thank you so much for all of the support and all of your kind words. With that, go ahead and start to find your way to your yoga setup in your home this morning. I always suggest a sturdy chair. If you have a folding chair in your apartment, it's really the best option. But something else similar works. Try to go for something with less cushion and a little more support. And make sure that your feet can come all the way down to the ground. I know for me, I'm a little bit short, so sometimes I'll bring something underneath my feet to lift the ground up to me. So you might want to try that as well. Remember, and I'll mention this later on as well, but for any of the standing portions of class, you're always welcome to stay seated. You're always welcome to use something different than the back of your chair that you find more supportive under your hands. And just tailoring each movement to fit where you're at today. Listening to your body, listening to those cues, and just sort of shifting through those movements in a way that's really, really fit for you. And that's going to be different for every single person. So making those choices along the way and honoring where you're at. So you start to get a little bit more comfortable in your seat, slide forward so there's plenty of space between your back and the back of your chair. Bring your feet down right underneath your knees, shins vertical, feet about hip distance apart. Lift your chest, lean forward slightly, let your shoulders drop down and back. And rest your hands comfortably. You can turn your palms up or palms down. Drop your chin slightly and allow your eyes to close. Just start to notice your breath. Notice how you feel today. Noticing your body. Maybe acknowledging a spot of tension, moving on. As you continue to notice your breath, maybe you start to let it get a little deeper, a little longer. Filling your low belly first as you breathe in, and then expanding up into your lungs. And emptying out from the top down, drawing low belly in and up, releasing all your air. As we go through different movements during class, we'll circle back to the breath. And just know that no matter what movement you're doing or to what level you're participating, as long as you're breathing, it's still yoga. The end of your next exhale, open your eyes, bring your arms down by your side, let your shoulders roll down and back, and lift your chest. Reach down actively through your fingertips. Press your feet down so your legs feel a little bit active, and see how that helps you sit up taller. Then with an inhale, send your arms up overhead. With an exhale, let your arms come down. Again, inhale up overhead. Exhale, release down. One more time, inhale up overhead. Exhale, release down. Take your hands comfortably to your legs and start to move through cat and cow. On your inhale, let your chest come forward, shoulders drop down and back. With your exhale, round your spine, lean back and tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale forward and exhale back. Continue to move between cat and cow at your own breath pace. And you can add in any other little movements that you like. Maybe it's side to side. Maybe you find one of these two really calls to you more and you want to stay there longer. Whatever works for you. It doesn't have to look any certain way. Just kind of saying good morning to your spine. Maybe expanding on your range of motion as you go. Finish out one more round of movement. And then come up with a tall, neutral spine, shoulders right over hips. Again, press your feet down, and that's going to bring activity and strength to your legs. It's going to help you sit up a little taller, help you engage through your core. Bring arms down by your sides, active, reaching down for your fingertips. Then arms reach up, inhale. Stay here, hold, exhale. Move wrists back in line over shoulders, but relax shoulders away from ears. Continue to press your feet down and grow up a little taller. Take one more breath in. On your exhale, bring arms out to shoulder height, palms turn to face down. Make blade hands and extend out for your fingertips. Lift chest, drop your shoulders. One more inhale. Exhale, release arms down. Inhale up. Exhale and stay. Inhale, reach through fingertips. Exhale, arms to shoulder height, palms down. Inhale here. And exhale, arms by sides. One more time, inhale, forward and up. Exhale, stay here. Inhale, grow a little taller. Exhale, arms to shoulder height. Inhale, reach through fingertips. Exhale, arms by sides. Bring your hands to your legs. Roll those shoulders out a few times, relaxing. And then make sure your feet are underneath your knees, shins vertical. Lift your chest, hinge from the hip crease, lean forward. This is our first kind of forward fold of the morning, so it doesn't have to be super intense. Just as soon as you start to feel the stretch in the backs of your legs or maybe your spine, you might start to walk your hands down your legs. Continue to reach through the crown of your head. Think long and strong through the back of your body. Press your feet down firmly. Walk your hands back up your legs, shoulders over hips. Big breath in. Exhale, releasing out. One more time, inhale. Open your mouth, exhale. Arms down by your sides. Reach up. And then bend your right elbow. Take hold of your left arm. Grow a little taller and just gently tilt over. An alternative is also to support with your right hand on the side of your chair and just reach with your left arm. Notice that it might feel like you're leaning forward, or it might feel like you're leaning toward the back of your chair, kind of twisting open. You want to stay right in the middle of the two, so shoulders square to the front, leaning over. I like to use my right hand for support because it helps me to think the shoulders squeeze together on my spine. Come back up through center, and either switch sides by holding on gently left hand to your right arm or wrist, and using that left hand to help draw your right arm over, or you can support on the side of your chair, and that's going to provide a lot more support for your spine. Use the strength in your left arm to help keep your shoulders in line over hips. Remember to notice if you're leaning forward or back, and try to come back to the midline. Inhale, upright. Exhale, arms down. Big breath in. Open your mouth, exhale. Inhale, lift your chest, sit up tall. Exhale, hinge from the hip crease, another forward fold. And again, you might stop here after a little hinge forward, or you might walk your hands down your legs. You might even reach all the way to the ground. Don't worry if you think, well, normally I reach the ground, but I haven't yet today. You're still warming up. We're still getting there. Honor your body where you're at every step. Just acknowledging, noticing, without judgment. Press your feet down as you come back upright, shoulders over hips. Big breath in. Exhale, release out. Take your right hand and simply take it across for your left leg. Take your left hand either behind or beside you on the chair. And then take your left shoulder, squeeze it up to your ear, and draw it down and back, open into a gentle twist. You might keep your gaze neutral, so just keep your gaze as it was, twist with your shoulders, or you might add a little more to the twist by turning your gaze over your left shoulder. Continue to press down through both feet. Keep knees in line over ankles. You might notice your right knee especially wants to go really wide or come in really close. With an exhale, untwist and reset in the middle. Then left hand goes across for your right leg. Right hand beside or behind you on the chair. Draw your right shoulder up, down, and back to open into the twist. You can keep your gaze neutral, just forward from where your shoulders are facing, or you might continue to turn your gaze, adding more of a twist in your upper spine, moving over your back shoulder. Notice your feet. Press both feet down and keep knees in line over ankles. On this side, it's your left knee that's more susceptible to going in or out, so keep it nice and stable. On an exhale, untwist, and take one more forward fold. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, hinge from the hip crease, starting to fold forward. And again, maybe you're starting to find that increased range of motion here, and you walk your hands down all the way to the ground. You can stop anywhere along the way that works for you. Press your feet down, and if your hands are on the ground, press your hands down as well. Start to engage through the back side of your body. Tuck your forehead towards your legs, relax your neck. Walk your hands back upright, roll up. Inhale. Exhale, empty out. Make sure your feet are lined up right underneath your knees. Come to a comfortable seat with your spine away from the back of your chair. Press both feet down firmly and extend your right leg out. Flex and point your foot a few times. And then release your foot back to the mat. Press your feet down, sit up tall. Notice you probably leaned back like I did. On this side, try to keep taller, shoulders over hips. Press both feet down, then extend your left leg out. Flex and point your foot a few times, and then bring your foot back down to the ground. How'd you do? Better with shoulders over hips? It's okay if the answer was no, just keep focusing on it. Right leg extends. Flex and point your foot. And this time, maybe add a little ankle roll. You can go in one direction or try to switch. Usually one way is easier. And then release down. Shoulders over hips, sit up tall. Press both feet down, left leg extends. Flex and point your foot. Maybe add an ankle roll, moving one or both directions. And bring your foot back down. Press through both feet, sit up tall. And then heel toe your feet out wide. Just as wide as is comfortable. You want to keep shins vertical by stacking knees over ankles. And end with your toes pointing out to about a 45-degree angle. Lift your chest. Press your feet down firmly and simply lean forward a few inches. Focus more on pressing your feet down than anything else. You can use your hands for light support on your legs, but make sure you don't press your knees out or in. Press your feet down even more, and then bring shoulders up in line over hips. Walk your feet back in to be hip distance apart. Press both feet down, sit up tall. Right leg extends. Draw your knee up to your chest. Hook your hands around your leg and squeeze in as tall as you can. Roll your ankle a few times or flex and point your foot, maybe curling your toes over. And then you're welcome to stay right here, or you can cross ankle over knee. Once you have ankle over knee, flex your foot, draw your toes right up towards you. And then you can keep your hand here for support, or you can start to let your knee fall away. However far your knee goes, you can still support with your hand, or you might take hands away. You should not feel pain in your knee. You should feel a stretch in your hip joint. If you feel pain in your knee, back up a little bit, redouble your effort to flex your foot and keep your ankle strong, and then stop right before that pain starts to become intense. If you'd like more intensity, hinge at the hip crease, bringing shoulders more in line over your knee and ankle. Press your left foot down firmly. Bring shoulders back over hips if you're leaning forward. Hug your knee up to your chest. Roll your ankle out on the way down. And switch sides. Press both feet down, left leg extends. Draw your knee to your chest, squeeze in. And you might take this opportunity to roll out your ankle a few times. And then you're welcome to stay right here, squeezing up and in, tall spine, or cross ankle over knee. Flex your foot. Make your ankle strong and engaged. This is what protects your knee from taking the brunt of the stretch here. And then you're welcome to keep your hand for support, and you can drop your knee to a height that works for you. Sit up tall, shoulders over hips. And remember, if you feel pain in the knee, back up, flex the foot even more, and then start to be a little bit more gentle as you come back down, noticing that threshold that works for you. If you'd like more intensity, you have stretch to spare, lean forward, shoulders come right in line over your ankle and knee. Everybody press your right foot down to the ground, make your right leg strong. Move shoulders back over hips, sit up tall. Hug knee to chest, squeeze in. Roll your ankle out on the way down, release. Take your feet out wide again, walking out. Knees in line over ankles, toes to the 45. Press your feet down. That's the most important thing here. We're working on strong legs. Squeeze your glutes behind you. Yeah, nice. Use your hands for support if you'd like. And just lean forward an inch or two. The more you press through your feet, the lighter your seat will feel. Move shoulders back over hips. Walk your feet back in. Sit up nice and tall. Take your right leg and extend your foot partway forward. I'm going to scoot back slightly here so you can see my feet. Extend your foot forward. And remember from last week and the week before, we've been working on keeping that little bit of bend in your straightened leg. So with that little bit of bend in your leg, you flex your foot back and you really want to press your heel down to the ground. Can you see that difference in my body, how much my leg is engaging? You can press me back. So try to do the same thing. Press your heel down and forward. You want to slide your seat back. Lift your chest and then hinge slightly forward. Your stretch might look something like this. Or if you want a little more intensity, take your right fingertips, reach straight forward. And maybe you start to lean a little more. You might connect your fingertips and your toes, but don't worry, it's in no way a requirement. The more you flex your foot, the more you press your heel down, the more intense this stretch will feel. Keep your spine long and strong. Come upright, shoulders over hips. Step your right foot underneath you. One quick note I forgot to mention, if the edge of your chair is painful on the back of your leg, grab like a little towel or blanket to roll over just to come under your seat that kind of folds over the front of your chair. I wouldn't suggest using it for everything that we do, but for some of these movements where your leg is more straight, it can add quite a bit of comfort. So if that's something you want to do, totally go for it. Left side, extend your leg just a little bit so you still got bend in your knee. Press through your heel and draw your toes up and back. Make your left leg super strong. Remember, you want to press through your heel so much, it's like it's sliding your seat back. Lift your chest. Hinge forward ever so slightly. Yep, that hinge comes right from the hip crease, so it's not a lean with your shoulders. It's a hinge right from the center of your body. Nice. You can stay here with your hands on your hips, or if you want to add that reach with your left hand, you might find that you've got a little more lean. Remember, as you reach, you want to move with both shoulders at the same time. Resist the urge to let your left shoulder dip down farther than your right. Stay nice and square. Come upright. Step your left foot down underneath your right. And then just lift up to your tippy toes a few times. Yeah, squeeze your calves as you lift. If you find it's difficult to lift, step your feet a little closer to you, and then try again. It might be easier. The next time you lift, lift and hold. Squeeze those heels up. Press the floor away with your toes. Then release down. Walk your feet back underneath your knees. One more time here. Right leg extends just a little bit. Keep a little bend in the knee. And press your heel down, flex your toes back. We have options this time. So option 1, that little bit of hinge forward, and you stay here. Option 2, right hand reaches, both shoulders evenly forward. Option 3, your left hand twists across for your toes. In this case, you do let your shoulders come a little bit open to the right side. And if you'd like, your right arm can go out. This adds a little bit more of a balance challenge and certainly more strength to your stretch. If you're twisting first, untwist. Then everybody shoulders back over hips. Step your right foot underneath your knee. Left heel slides forward. Keep a little bend in your left leg. Flex your toes back towards you and anchor your heel firmly to the ground. Again, option 1, hinge forward, stay here. Option 2, if you'd like, left hand, both shoulders move evenly down as you reach towards your toes. Option 3, you take your right hand, you twist it over towards your toes, open your left shoulder back. You can even turn your gaze to the left wall and maybe extend your left arm out. Press down through your left heel and the entire bottom of your right foot. Make both legs strong. If you're twisting, untwist first. Then bring shoulders back in line over hips. Step your left foot underneath your right. Again, maybe walk your feet closer and lift a few times to the balls of your feet. Rinsing out. Nice job. Finish out one more movement. Then we'll go to a few standing postures here. I do a little bit of balance work. And then we'll come back to the chair for a few poses as well. As always, you're welcome to participate in whatever part of the movement works for you from the chair. And I think that most of you by now know the seated options that accompany most of these standing poses. So we're going to do a few different poses where we stand on one leg. We're going to start with Warrior 3, which you all are getting pretty good at these days. So go ahead and come behind your chair, your table, your counter, whatever surface you're going to use for support, and stand with your feet pretty close to the chair. You want to make sure that you can stand up nice and tall and hold on to the chair without leaning forward or back, wherever your hands need to be to make you feel supported. Take your feet hip distance apart, point your toes forward, and bend your knees just a little bit. Then start to feel your legs get a little stronger. Squeeze your glutes together and feel like your feet are pressing the floor away from you. Nice. Engage your abdomen, lift your chest, relax your shoulders. Then start to shift the weight to your right foot. Yeah, left foot stays on the ground but just feels light. Shift the weight back through both feet and shift it over to the left. Just starting to feel your right foot get light. Do that one more time on each side. Shift to the right, through center, and shift to the left. Come back through center, and then put the weight in your right leg. Slide your left tippy toes back. You might stay here with tippy toes on the ground, or you might allow that foot to begin to float up. For this first time, just keep the foot floating, keep shoulders over hips, stand up nice and tall, and focus on engaging through the back side of your left leg. Lift your foot, but reach your toes down toward the ground. Nice. Release your left foot back to the ground. Shift the weight to your left leg and slide your right tippy toes back. You might stay here with toes on the ground, or you might strengthen your leg, float those toes up. Tone your inner thighs together. You might feel your right hip lifting, and you want to spin it down, point it directly towards your chair. Lift your chest, tall spine. Release your right foot back to the ground. Bring that weight even to both feet. Then weight in your right leg. Left foot slides back. Stay here or lift. Stay here or start to hinge forward into Warrior 3. Extend forward through the crown of your head, back through your lifted leg, and a little bit more bend in your standing knee can be optimal. You might find your warrior three looks more like this or more like this, and that's great. Stop wherever along the way works for you this morning. Come upright. Step your left foot down. Take a moment, shift the weight side to side, and then switch the weight into your left leg. Slide your right toes back. You can stay here. You can lift, or you might start to hinge forward. Your heel lifts as your shoulders lower, and continue to tone inner thighs together. Spin your right hip down. When it feels like your hips are flat is probably when your right hip still needs to lower a few more inches. This pose is not very nice in that way. Sorry to say. A little bend in the standing leg if you like. Hinge upright. And again, step down, take a moment, shift side to side. We're going to take a forward fold. As always, there's options. If you're seated, we've done a few seated forward folds, you know what to do. If you're standing, step back a little bit from your chair and take your feet just wider than your hips, not as wide as you can go, kind of halfway in between hip distance and your widest stance. Take a little bend in your knees and start to press your hips back. Keep your spine nice and strong as you hinge forward. See how my hips are back behind my heels and I'm starting to bring my head closer to the chair. You might stop here. You might be able to continue to fold and walk your hands down all the way to the ground if you so desire. You might keep pressing your hands to the chair, pressing your hips back, working on making your legs nice and long all the way through this backside. Come back upright. Step your feet in a little bit closer to the chair. If you're seated, take your hands to your knees for this. If you're standing, hands to the chair. Simply lift your chest, drop your shoulders, and try to lift up. Yeah, arching back just a little bit. Support your legs, tuck your tailbone forward towards the chair, and feel this more in your chest than your low spine. Release down. One more time, lift that chest. And release down. We're going to take one more round of warrior three. That's going to give us an option for people who want to try to lift your hands off the chair. If you're going to try to lift your hands this time, go ahead and start a little farther back so you're using fingertip support to begin with. And of course, if you want to hold onto your chair for more support, do it the same way we did the first time. Shift the weight into your right leg, slide your left toes back. Stay here or float your foot up, start to hinge forward. Tone your inner thighs together and think back through your lifted leg, forward through the crown of your head. You might take one or both hands away. You can take arms alongside you. You can bring your palms to heart center. That keeps your hands close to the chair. And you can also rest your torso on the chair, depending on how tall you are and how tall the chair is. Come back upright, step down, shift side to side. And then put the weight in your left leg, right toe slide back. Last time in warrior three, lift your back foot, stay here or hinge forward. You can use the chair for support or take a variation. Arms alongside you, palms at heart center. If you want to go extra challenging, arms overhead. Tone inner thighs together. Hinge upright. Step down, shift side to side. This time, take your feet out a little wider than you did the first time, closer to your widest stance. Point your toes forward. Take a little bend in your knees, and the same thing. Press your hips back as you hinge from the hip crease. Some people have a tendency to want to do this. Lean forward and round down. And it's not as effective at stretching your spine and your legs. So you want to press back with your hips as you lower through your chest. Keep your spine long. You could stay here, or again, just like we did the first time, you can start to walk your hands down all the way to the ground. Press your feet down firmly. Keep hips moving back. With an inhale, roll yourself all the way back upright, carefully stacking shoulders over hips. And walk your feet back in together. Come to stand behind your chair. For this demonstration, I'm going to stand in front of my chair so you can see my legs, but just know that you can stay behind your chair with your hands firmly supporting you throughout this next set of movement. You want to take your feet out hip distance apart and take hands to the chair. In this case, I'm going to put my hands on my hips, and you're always welcome to practice with hands on hips as well. Take that slight bend in your knees so your legs are engaged. Shift the weight to your right leg. We're good at this now. And lift your left foot straight out to the side, like so. Yeah, keep your toes pointing forward. Lower it back down and shift to the left. Lift. Nice. You get the idea. We're going to go gently side to side, and you can go at your own pace. It might be a little faster or a little slower than mine, but you want it to be slow and controlled, and you want to come through center with weight even across both feet between each round. As you start to move through, you might have a little bit more range of motion here. Maybe starting to add a little bit of a lean in your torso to create more movement. Yeah. All right, finish out your last round of right and left. And then we're going to go right from here into warrior two. Yeah, so you can stay behind your chair, walk your feet out nice and wide. Hands might support you. And then turn your right toes out. Bend your right knee. Yeah, hands can stay on the chair for support, or you can take your arms out to a T. As you know, you can practice this seated as well, and I'm so close to the chair, it almost looks like I'm doing it sitting down. Bend and widen your front knee. Tuck your tailbone forward and lift your chest. Straighten your right leg up. Right toes turn in. Left toes turn out. Bend your left knee. Bend and widen your knee. So you want your knee to be more in line with your pinky toe than your big toe. You might have to look down to line that up. Tuck your tailbone forward and lift your chest. Extend out through your fingertips. Straighten your left leg up. Turn your left toes forward. Give your arms a break if you've been reaching out. One more time through each side in warrior two. Hands on the chair or arms out at shoulder height. Right toes turn out. Bend your right knee. Move your knee a little wider. Lift your chest. If you would like, maybe reverse your warrior. Flip your right hand and reach up and back. Left hand can come to your leg, but you don't want to take weight in your hand, just for a little bit of support. Come back to warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Right toes turn in. Left toes turn out. Bend your left knee. Move your knee a little wider. Tuck your tailbone forward, lift your chest. If you would like, reverse warrior. Flip your front palm, reach up and back. Again, right hand can come to your leg, but don't put weight in it, just for a little support. Move back to warrior two. Straighten your left leg. All toes turn towards your chair. Walk your feet back in a little closer. Okay, we're going to practice a modified version of half moon pose. So you're going to come over to the left side of your chair to start. Hold on to your chair with your right hand. We're going to start with your hand on the back of the chair. You may bring your hand down to the seat a little bit later on. Take your right foot and turn towards the chair. Your left foot might go to about the 45-degree angle, pointing out like so. Little bit of bend in your right leg. And then put weight on your hand, left hand to your hip. And we're going to do that kind of lateral leg lift that we were practicing before. Yeah. Your pose might look something like this, or you might take your hand down to the seat of your chair and lean a little bit farther. If you would like, from wherever you're at, you can send your left arm out. Half moon pose. Taking up as much space as possible, expanding out. Come up and out. Take a moment to reset by walking over to the other side of your chair. Stand next to your chair to start, and then you're going to turn. Left foot points directly towards your chair, and your right foot kind of out to the 45. Take your right hand to your hip, left hand to the back of your chair for support, and your standing leg can be quite close to your chair. You might simply lean some weight into your hand. Maybe this foot stays on the ground or just floats up a little bit. Work on opening through your shoulders, stacking up over your standing leg as much as possible. You might take your hand down to the seat of your chair and start to lean a little further, lifting your right leg as you extend forward through the crown of your head. From wherever you would like, you can reach your hand up if you want a little bit more of a challenge. Nice. Holding on and then coming right up and out. Take a moment, catch your breath, maybe shift the weight side to side. And then everybody find your way to your seat. I'm going to turn to the side here for demonstration purposes. All right. Practice a little bit of a back bend in your seat. So I'm going to show option 1 first. We can all practice it together. And then I'll move on to option 2. And of course, as always, whenever we have a secondary option, you can always continue to practice the first option for the remainder of the rounds of that pose. So this is going to be option 1. Take your feet hip distance apart. Of course, feet right underneath your knees so your shins are vertical. Hands come to your legs or hands beside you on the chair. These are both options. Lift your chest, drop your shoulders, and then what you want to do is lift your chest, drop your shoulders. After that, lift your chest, drop your shoulders. Get the picture? Continue to lift your chest and drop your shoulders. Yep. You want to find as much opening through your upper spine as possible. And if I pull my shirt in a little tighter here, you can see it's not really my low spine. It's not that I'm leaning back. It's that I'm lifting upward and finding that space in the upper spine. So use your hands for support. You might bring your hands next to you to be able to get a little bit more lift. Release out. Take maybe a few rounds of cat and cow. Yeah, nice. Okay, so option 2 is more of a modified bridge pose. So option 2, make sure you're forward in your seat and make sure that your feet are secure on the ground. You don't want your feet sliding forward. I would not suggest socks for this movement. Take your hands beside you or just behind you on the chair. And again, make sure that you have a pretty firm grip. You're going to use your hands and feet for support here. So you can always stay in option 1, lift your chest, drop your shoulders. Lift your chest, drop your shoulders, lift your chest, drop your shoulders. Option 2, maybe you lift your chest so much that you lift your hips. You might only lift your hips an inch off the chair. You might continue to press through your feet and lift your hips a little higher. As you're ready, seat comes back down. Carefully unroll your spine, then maybe rounding, opening, taking any kind of movements that feel good here. We'll take one more round the same way, one more round. Hands on your knees, hands beside or behind you. Remember, feet and hands should be quite secure. Lift your chest, drop your shoulders, stay here, or maybe press your hands down, press your feet down, and lift your hips. Squeeze your glutes, press your hips up. If you like, you can let your head rest back on your shoulders, only if that's comfortable for your neck. Release your hips back down to the chair. Bring shoulders in line over hips. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth, big exhale. Hinge at the hip crease. Start to lean forward. Walk your hands down towards your feet. If this forward fold, you're feeling good, you want a little bit more, come back upright. Extend both legs part way. Flex, heels press down, and same thing, hinge from the hip crease. Keep your spine nice and long. Reach your hands towards your feet. Press your feet into your hands. Walk your hands up your legs, roll upright, shoulders over hips. Step your feet back down underneath your knees. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders over hips. We're going to do a little bit of twisting and some seated eagle pose. Of course, you're always welcome to practice different seated poses, maybe on the floor of your choice. kind of giving you that allowance to tailor the practice to fit your needs. I know a lot of you already have a strong yoga practice that you've been doing for many years, and I want to invite you to incorporate your own poses. Press your feet down firmly if you're continuing along with me, and we're going to take a little bit of a twist here. We've done this several times over the last few weeks, but just to review, you're going to hinge slightly forward, enough that you can bring your arms to rest comfortably on your legs. You want to try to get one elbow to each thigh and find a somewhat comfortable spot. Press your feet down, feel your legs engage, and feel your seat get a little lighter. And then unfurl your left arm out to the side. You might stay just like this, or you might press down through your right hand and elbow to start supporting your torso, opening up a little bit more. Yeah, maybe eventually your left hand goes all the way up. Adjust your gaze to fit the needs of your neck. Your neck will definitely protest as soon as you've gone too far, so just listen to that. Release back down, trap your left arm again, and start in the middle. Take a little moment of reset. Then unfurl your right arm out to the side and reach through fingertips. Maybe you start to lift up. Maybe going all the way up, reaching vertically toward the ceiling. This is another case where your knees will want to go wide or come in together. They'll have a mind of their own. So keep strong, pressing through both feet. Notice how that changes everything else. Release down. Trap your right arm again and reset. We're going to have one more round. If you'd like a deeper twist for this second round, walk your feet in closer together, maybe even all the way together. That's going to bring your elbows to a little bit more of a cross as well. From here, everybody unfurl your left arm. Practice the same way again. Reach out to the side or come up toward vertical, or slide your right arm out and down, working to reach down toward the ground. Notice I didn't quite make it to the ground today. You can stop anywhere along the way. Untwist, reset, and last side, last time, press your feet down. Unfurl your right arm. Arm can go out or up. And you might start to slide your left arm down outside your right leg, maybe reaching down to or toward the ground. Untwist, roll upright, shoulders over hips. Start with your feet somewhat close together, and then take your right leg up and over your left for eagle pose. Try to squeeze your legs together as much as possible and bring your legs right into the midline. You can stay here practicing the legs or add the arms. One elbow under the other, hold opposite shoulders, press backs of hands or palms together. Lift your chest, drop your shoulders down your spine, press your elbows down. Unwrap your arms, unwrap your legs, and switch sides. Left leg up and over your right. Yours might look something more like this. You might be able to bring your legs closer together, bring your right foot to the midline, and squeeze your legs in as much as possible. Stay here practicing just the legs or add the arms. Left elbow under right, you can hold opposite shoulders. You might take backs of hands or palms together. Lift your chest, relax your shoulders, think really long for your neck, think easy in your jaw. Unwrap your arms, unwrap your legs, and just shake it out a little bit. Make sure you have a somewhat comfortable seat here. You might sit back a little bit farther than we have thus far in class. Feel nice and supported by your chair. Allow your chin to drop towards your chest. You might stay right here, or if you want to add a little more stretch in your spine, you can interlace your hands behind your head. Behind your head, draw your elbows down towards your legs and add a really gentle rounding through your upper spine. With each exhale, feel a little easier. Feel a release of tension. Release your hands. Lift your chin gently. And then bring your right hand to your cheek. Support your ear coming over towards your shoulder. You can continue to support with your hand. If it feels okay, you might take your hand away, or you might take your hand over to the left side of your head by your left ear, adding a little bit of gentle weight. Right elbow draws down. What creates the stretch in your neck more than anything is this left shoulder dropping down. So don't worry too much about like pulling with your right hand. That's not really the motion. It's just about relaxing through this left side, surrendering into the stretch. Bring your right hand to your cheek. Support your head coming back upright and switch sides. Left hand to your cheek, allowing your ear to fall over towards your shoulder. You can leave your hand for support, drop your arm, or left hand over to that right side of your head, just adding a really gentle weight. Again, you don't want to pull, you just want to use the weight of your hand and arm to kind of create a little bit more stretch. The right shoulder dropping away, melting away, that's what creates that length through the right side of your neck. Left hand supports you, coming back upright. One more time, chin to chest. Excuse me. Chin to chest, looking down. You can stay right here, or hands interlaced behind your head, elbows drawing down towards your knees, really gentle rounding in your spine. Release your hands, lift your chin. All right, this last stretch, make sure that you can hold on to your chair beside or behind you. Start with your right hand beside or behind you on the chair. Turn your chin 45 degrees towards your left knee, and then tilt your head in the direction of your knee. If you'd like to add a little more weight here, left hand comes behind to the nape of your neck. You just gently presses your head forward towards that left knee. The hold of your right hand, again, creates that stretch, really melting your shoulder down and back. Bring your head back upright gently, turn your chin to center, and switch sides. Left hand holds on beside or behind you. Turn your chin to your right knee, and then tilt your head towards your knee. If you'd like to add more to this stretch, right hand just to the top of your neck, the base of your head, adding a little gentle pressure. Release out, bring your chin back upright, roll those shoulders out a few times. Then interlace your fingers to the webbing. Flip your palms away from you, and maybe just open your hands, keeping your elbows bent like so. Or you might start to press your hands forward to add a little bit more stretch in your wrists. Keep the interlace of your fingers as tight as you can. I like to press my thumb tips together to help with that. And then you can stay here, or if this feels all right and your arms are almost straight, you might bring your arms upright to add more stretch to the shoulders and spine. Press your feet down, sit up tall. Big breath in, long breath out. One more inhale and exhale. One more time, inhale, exhale. Release your arms out. Shake your hands out down low. Shake it out in the middle. Shake it out up high. And then release your hands down. Take your right hand out in front of you. Make like a stop hand. And then fingers to fingers, press back, stretching. So feel this kind of through the base of your arm. You want to make your arm straight or almost straight so you can press your hand forward and draw your fingers back. I like to leave my thumb loose here. I don't include it, but you might find that you like to include your thumb, and that gives you a better stretch. Gently release. Point your fingers down toward the ground. Palm to the back of your hand. In this case, I like to use my hand, not my fingers, to press down. And again, arm presses more towards straight to create the stretch. In this case, you should feel this more in your wrist. Release out. Left hand, stop hand. Just draw your fingers back. Fingers to fingers, adding that pressure. Let your thumb be free or use it. Continue to press your arm towards straight so you feel this all the way through your forearm, not just in your wrist and hand. Then release out on this side, fingers point down. Palm to the back of your hand. Press your arm forward to straight as you draw your hand back towards you. Gentle stretch right there through the top of the wrist. Release out. Shake your arms out down low. And then you can do this with your hands resting on your legs, or you can do this with your arms extended. My shoulders are feeling kind of tired, so I'm guessing your shoulders are feeling kind of tired too. So choose the option that you want. Go ahead and make a fist. Point your knuckles down. If you're using your arms, it might look something like this, leaning forward. Then release, open up, draw your fingers back towards you. Make a fist, point your knuckles down. Release out, spread your fingers wide. Draw fingertips towards you. Make a fist, knuckles point down. Last time, spread out. And then shake it out all the way down by your side. Start to get a little bit more comfortable. Maybe you can scoot back in your seat so that the back of you is supported by the chair. You might also like a bolster behind your low spine so that you can still be a little more active, but have that support from the chair. You do want to make sure that your feet can still reach all the way down and press down, and this might be a good time to use that step stool or that dictionary, whatever it is, to bring the floor up to you. Make sure that you're comfortable, but you're still somewhat active in your body, still noticing what's going on. Allow your chin to drop halfway to your chest. And start to relax your body from the floor up. Feel your feet just resting comfortably on the ground. We spent a lot of time in the last hour pressing the floor away. So just let the floor press into you and support your legs. Let your knees go wide as they like. Feel your seat supported. Feel your spine supported. Allow your shoulders to drop down and back. Allow your hands to rest on your legs or in your lap. Relax your face and jaw, the space behind your eyes. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Unfurrow your brow. And start to allow your breath to be really soft and easy. Allow your breath to get even softer. Feel your body resting easy. And settle in for Shavasana, rest. If If you like, you might turn your palms up and let your fingertips curl in. You might find your way to the ground, to a supine position for Shavasana as well. Begin to deepen your breath. Take gentle movements to fingers, toes. Maybe send your arms overhead. Take one final stretch. And then come up to a more active seat. Sitting up nice and tall. Bring palms together at heart center. We'll close our practice today with the sound Om one time. And you're welcome to sing along or listen. Release your air. Full breath in. Thumbs to forehead center. With gratitude for this practice, namaste. Thank you all so much for joining in this morning. I truly appreciate you all so much and sending you all the best on this Sunday. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And again, reach out to Missy, reach out to me at the restaurant with any of your feedback. We'd love to hear from you, and thank you so much.